Funny timing this, Ian, isn't it?
Yeah, the timing didn't work out for her too well. It's a strange decision to do it right now. But of course, for her own personal career, it doesn't work out too badly. She was in something of a sort of a bit of stasis, really, a bit of a plateau. And now she can always point to this moment where she showed a lot of conviction. Of course, she's always going to be in Parliament because she's a peer, so she's not going to be voted out anytime soon, yeah. And she'll still maintain that role that she has in the Tory party of being a woman, of being from the north, of being Muslim. And the Tory party needs people like that. So this isn't quite the end of her career, and it may actually pay out for her in the long run.
She's the first Muslim woman to serve in any cabinet, regardless of party, Rupert. Does she come out of this winning then, and the Prime Minister looks like he's on the losing side?
I don't think she does, and I have to take issue with what Ian's just said. He said on the one hand that it's good for her career, and on the other hand she's a conviction politician. It's hard to see that it can be both of those things. It seems to me that if she'd been a conviction politician, she would have stayed there in the Cabinet and in the Foreign Office, talking about the things that concern her and pressing the issues. It seems from the statement made by the Prime Minister that she didn't even raise her concerns regarding Gaza with him prior to resigning. So it might be good for her career, but it doesn't really suggest that she's much of a conviction politician.
Because, Ian, was her governmental career on the wane a bit? I mean, she was chair of the Conservatives a couple of years ago, a bigger profile job to what she's just sort of quit from. So is she doing it as she's on the way down?
She's certainly doing it at a bit of a plateau, but no one really knows what's going to happen in 2 years' time because, of course, we have a general election before then. In terms of how much effect she could have had, I think it's a bit sort of unrealistic to think she could have really made a significant change.
More than she will have complaining from the
British
backbenchers.
Foreign policy, really, where she was. I think instead what you'll find is she's put down a bit of a marker, really, for other Tories. Are they going to come out and say, yes, they're also uncomfortable about this? And there's some chance that will happen, certainly more of a chance than there was at this time yesterday.
A marker where she's sort of stuck the knife in, really, to the new Foreign Secretary, or newish Foreign Secretary, Philip Hammond. In her letter, one of the quotes is, "The absence of the experience and expertise of colleagues like Ken Clarke and Dominic Grieve has over the last few weeks become very apparent." That's pretty scathing about the Cabinet since the reshuffle, isn't it, Rupert?
Well, look, she gave her exit interview to the Huffington Post. That says two things. Firstly, that she's not exactly political dynamite, but also that she was very much to the left of the party. And she's just cited two of her former colleagues also to the left of the party. She may miss them sitting around the cabinet table, but at least when she was sitting at the cabinet table, she was able to have influence. She can go in the media now, she can go on TV and complain, but this is a serious situation involving diplomacy. She would have been much better off staying in government.
What could she have done then, Ian, in terms of influencing what Britain can say, do, involving the Israelis and Palestinians? What can Britain really do there that she wants?
I mean, I do think that Britain does have a sort of a PR role, which is quite an effective and strong one, where it can say, as it's considered a sort of a second-tier supporter of Israel, if Britain comes out and says, no, this is disproportionate, these are war crimes, you are basically murdering children, that has an effect which it simply doesn't have when it's, for instance, Argentina, which has been making a lot of noise. Would we expect anything more significant than that? I think not. British and Israeli military cooperation is very deeply entrenched. We'll be using their drones, or drones that we've worked on in cooperation with them, until 2040. So those things are not really going to get disentangled anytime soon. But we do have a public relations role, and one that we could have made more of over the last few weeks.
Rupert, I know you're shaking your head at that. I'm afraid we're out of time on this discussion. Gentlemen, thanks both very much indeed.